I just completed a challenge where I turned nothing into $1,000 over the course of 5 weeks. In this video, I want to recap some of the ways I was able to do that successfully with reselling and flipping. So if you guys didn't watch that challenge, definitely check it out. I made 2 to 3 videos per week, all here in a playlist that I'll link down below. Also, if you guys enjoy side hustles and business content, subscribe to my new newsletter that I'll put as the pinned comment and also down in the description. It's free to sign up and get my weekly newsletter where I talk about my current businesses and new business opportunities. So that'll be linked down below as well. But now let's get into this one. So over the course of this challenge, it took me 5 weeks to turn absolutely nothing into $1,000. I definitely learned a lot of things. The first thing when trying to get into side hustling is I recommend flipping items. During this challenge, flipping items made up 90% of my income for the challenge. I just found that it was the fastest way over the course of a month or a little bit longer to actually make profits. The other things I tried were selling a $5 course, which I think I made around $60 doing that. I also tried a new Amazon review site, which again, I think I made about $60 with that. And then with reselling, I made almost $1,000 in profit with minimal work. So I think it's definitely the fastest way. Another good thing about reselling is how fast the turnaround time is with some of these items that you find and resell. During the challenge, especially the last few days, I was buying stuff for pennies on the dollar, literally pennies. I was getting things for less than $1 when you go to the Goodwill stores that sell stuff by the pound. And I was selling them under market value, but still making profits the same day or the next day or the next day after that. It was really quick turnaround time when you're pricing things lower. So I could find items for around $1 and go sell them on eBay for $20 when the other comps were selling for $30. Would you rather have $20 in less than 24-hour turnaround time or $30, 6 months or 12 months down the road of waiting out, holding that inventory in your house, waiting for that buyer to come out and pay full resale market price value? So it's a really fast way to get some profit and make some quick money. And that brings me to the next point is it's extremely easy to learn. You can learn a lot just by watching my videos. I even did a breakdown on my newsletter of some very simple strategies for reselling. I mean, basically all you have to understand is some supply and demand and how to use eBay effectively as a tool to see if that item will sell and sell quickly. So you have to understand the eBay sell-through rate, basically looking up an item. Say you find a baseball glove, you have to look up how many are listed for sale, how many have sold in the last 90 days and for what price, and then list it and price it effectively. And that's basically all you need to know to get started with this and where to find cheap inventory. So during this challenge, the ways I found inventory were regular thrift stores, which are a little expensive compared to the Goodwill bins, which they sell stuff by the pound. So a baseball glove at a thrift store may be $5 or $6, but selling it by the pound, you can get it for £1, which is going to be $1.69. So, you're paying a third, a fourth of the price at Goodwill bins, and they still have some good stuff. So definitely buying things cheap there. You can afford to sell it for $20 versus $30 because you're just paying so much less. The next place I found things was Facebook Marketplace. I think during the challenge, I only found 3 things that I actually bought on Facebook Marketplace, but one of them was a huge winner. I paid $40 for something that I sold for $350 on eBay in less than a week. So you can definitely find some great items on Facebook Marketplace and get them from cheap if you know kind of what you're looking for. I also bought a box of sports cards for $20 and sold it for $45 as well. And I believe there was one other thing I found during this series that I bought on Facebook and sold on eBay. All right, the next thing that I learned about a reselling business in particular is to make $1,000 in 5 weeks. It's not a huge time suck. I would go to a thrift store on my way to the grocery store or on my way back from the grocery store, which I was going to anyways, and it was right next to it. I'd pop in for 30 minutes. Sometimes I wouldn't buy anything. Sometimes I'd come out with 5, 6 items, including that $6 Tamagotchi I got that I ended up selling for $320. So definitely deals out there. Doesn't take a ton of time. Like I said, I went 2 or 3 times per week to thrift stores, and that includes the Goodwill bins, which I went to about once a week during this challenge, probably 5 times in total, and spent 30-40 minutes there each time as well. So overall, I probably spent between 25 and 30 hours reselling. Listing things on eBay is super easy for me. Another trick with eBay listing is you just find your item that already sold on eBay. You click sell like this, and all you have to do is take new pictures, set a price, and click list. It takes probably less than a minute to list something on eBay. And same with Facebook Marketplace. It's a little longer to list on Facebook Marketplace because you can't do that technique. But honestly, the biggest time suck of the challenge was creating and editing these 2 to 3 videos per week for the challenge. Probably spent more time on that than actually going out and buying stuff to resell. So it's not going to be a huge time suck. You could definitely do it in your spare time. You could do less than 10 hours per week on this business and still make about $1,000 in a month. Honestly, you could go a little harder than I did. You could maybe go 3 or 4 times outsourcing for products, and then you could make $1,000 easily within a month. So with this business, consistency is definitely key. There were days where I went to the same thrift store and found absolutely nothing to resell. And then the next time I went, there was that Tamagotchi for $6 that I sold for $320. So you got to be consistent with it as well. Just keep hitting the same stores. They put out new stuff like every single day. So you never know when you're going to find something good. Some days you might find nothing. Some days you could find a lot of great things to resell. So it's the same, both looking on Facebook and going to the Goodwill bins. To follow up with more consistency, you have to also be consistent with listing on eBay, because eBay does reward you for listing consistently every day, or even like a few times a week. Even definitely does help get your product seen and sold on eBay if you're listing new stuff consistently, not just finding stuff across a week and then listing everything in one day. You want to spread it out a little bit for eBay to get your listings seen more. It's just really how their algorithm works, and I've heard that a ton of places. Seems to be true for me as well. Okay, finally, since this video was mostly about reselling, I'm just gonna give you guys some more reselling tips here at the end that you guys can use if you wanna try out this side hustle, which I recommend for anyone beginning side hustles who wants to make some extra cash really fast. The first one is going to be buy low. So, you could find an item that sells for $20 on eBay all day. Maybe there's 10 listed and 20 sold in the last 90 days. It's going to be a 200% sell-through rate, a great sell-through rate. But if you're paying $10 for it, selling it for $20 on eBay, after fees, you may make like $7. So even if it looks like a great item, you're not going to want to pay that much for something like that. If I'm selling something for as little as $20, I want to pay less than $4 for that item, or else it's really just not worth the time of buying it, listing it, the investment of maybe it won't sell as fast as you think. Then you're going to be stuck with it for a long time, and even when it does sell, you're not going to make that much in profit. And then the other thing I haven't talked about is actually packaging items up and shipping them out with USPS, which is pretty easy. You could just print a label, set it on the counter there, or have them print the label for you at the store. So buying low, definitely the number one tip. You can haggle on Facebook Marketplace for a lower price that makes sense for you. At thrift stores, look for the sale tags and go after those items, or just have some restraint to not buy super high priced items for reselling. And then go to the Goodwill bins. You're not going to find lower prices there. Just look for really lightweight items. I've found camera cards there that are like SD cards or whatever, literally weigh nothing, that sell for $20, $30. So really light items are going to be your best friend at the Goodwill bins. You can find a ton of stuff. Lego minifigures, some of those sell for $20 on their own. They weigh absolutely nothing. So buying low. You guys saw in my series of videos There were days that I had a bag load of stuff and my total bill was like $6 for everything, you know, like 10 to 15 items for $6. Pretty crazy. Some of the stuff you can get there for exceptionally cheap prices. And the last tip, which I've actually talked a little bit about in this video, is price competitively. So if you see items selling for $30 consistently on eBay, price your item at $25. You know, that $5 is not going to make or break your reselling business. And it's definitely worth it to get a sale within a week versus 6, 12 months down the road at full price. You guys saw, especially in that last episode, if you go back and watch that, I sold a bunch of things in the last 3 days because I was pricing well under the market price on eBay, mostly because I wanted to get money for the challenge. But looking back on it, it's a pretty good strategy to make the most amount of money, because then you can use that money to go back out and buy more stuff. You have more room in your storage. Say you have a storage closet like I do, you open up more room for more inventory, you make more money so you could buy more things. Just keeps the business going and that flow of money keeping in your pocket and in the profit. So if you guys enjoyed this one, definitely go back, watch that series. Subscribe to my newsletter for free, where I break down businesses like this, side hustles like this. This is probably one of the most basic businesses, buying and reselling things, but definitely one that you can make money with today. There's so many instances where I bought stuff and sold it in the same day. So hope you enjoyed this one. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you in another video.